Kenneth Paul Cook of the Ancients. Welcome to 69 Face of Rock. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, my man.
Excellent. So Beyond the Reach of the Sun is over 1 year old at this point, right?
Yes, sir.
How does the album feel to you after 1 year?
It still feels fresh to us. Like, we have a new lineup with the record, so it's kind of feels like a new band in a sense, and we're having a blast playing the songs.
What state of mind were you in when you wrote this record?
Well, I had moved away from the Vancouver area, kind of away from the guys, so I was definitely more isolated, and my state of mind was a lot to do with reflection of things that had happened sort of in the past decade of my life. So that was kind of most of the process, especially lyrical ideas.
And how is that reflected within the songs?
Well, it's all spoken through metaphor, but it's things that are personal to me. I try and tell through a story for the listener.
Prior to this new album, you did not release anything for 8 years.
Yes.
What was happening during this downtime?
There was a lot going on, actually. We lost a member, and I had a kid, actually, so that took some time, and during that stage my wife had got sick with heart failure, so that kind of took all my focus, and so that was a huge part of sort of the hiatus of that went on kind of thing. Making sure that she was in a good place and we could raise our kid right and make sure everyone was healthy, right?
How easy was it to get back to music?
It wasn't hard at all. Like, once I sat down and focused, and like I said, once we kind of found the unit, like Brock came into the band, our current guitar player, and he's just an amazing guy to write music with. We share a great chemistry, so once ideas started flowing and we were sharing things, they just came naturally, easy.
How is the album being received?
I think fairly well. It's a touch different than things that we've done in the past. It kind of more leans towards a prog rock side, and we added quite a bit of synth to the new record. But overall, I think people seem stoked. We're stoked, so that's.
How did it feel to be nominated and winning a Juno award in Canada?
Well, it was completely surprising, obviously. Just to be nominated is a huge acknowledgement. To actually win it, like, we didn't think we had a shot in hell. So we were very surprised when they called our name for it. And it's pretty cool.
And if you were to explain what Juno is, because a lot of probably viewers may not know it, could you give some background
I guess
info?
it would be considered like the highest musical award for Canada. So
equivalent to a Grammy?
Equivalent to a Grammy, I guess you could say, yeah.
So did winning such a prestigious award open any new doors for the band?
I think it got us a bit more recognition, and I think like the nomination for the award, it forces a lot more people that may not have checked your music out to take a listen to it, and I think it definitely doesn't hurt us. Yeah.
It's something good to have. How would you say your music evolved since your first EP or even your first album?
I don't know. Like, I think like when our first album came out, it was kind of like the first music that we had sort of ever released to the public. So, we weren't really conscious of what we were doing. Essentially, we were just laying things down. I think now we're a little more honed in on dynamic and flow of the songs, and overall though it's always just been about what we enjoy to play and what makes us feel happy, right? So it's kind of what it all boils down to.
How do you structure your songs when it comes to creating different moods?
I don't know, like I'm kind of a sporadic writer, and like when I'm writing, it's never usually like mastered plan. Like it's more of a sporadic, you know, just waterfall of ideas that I try and remember. And then it's, you know, a lot of it will start with just pieces of songs as well, and you know, seeing what things will kind of fit or, you know, change the flow of a song. And so when I start with pieces, it's the huge kind of challenge for me is trying to make one thing flow into another idea as seamlessly as possible, or, you know, try and make it make sense, which sometimes doesn't always happen.
And on the average, how long does it take for you to craft a song like that?
It's different kind of every time. Sometimes they come together rather quickly, and then other times it'll be an idea that I've had kind of cooking for a couple of years, and I finally just find something that works with it.
How important is the use of different voices in your songs, and what do the voices signify?
Well, it definitely, like you were saying before, as far as changing the moods, like sometimes we have heavier content and heavier riffs that I think require more angst within the vocals, and you know, sometimes we like to have more beautiful sounding that definitely wouldn't sound great with screaming vocal over top. So, you know, it's just whatever kind of suits the music.
Is there a common theme that unites all of your songs from the last album or even beyond that?
Not so much necessarily. I think it's kind of just brought in from life experience and kind of what the song makes me feel like at the time. Like, I'm usually never writing lyrics first. It's always kind of an afterthought. So it's, you know, I just kind of pull from experiences that I've had or views, the way that I see the world sometimes, and then you know, try and mask it with fantasy-based ideas. Or, yes.
How many of those new tracks are you playing live, and how did you select them to be played live?
Well, we have played all of them live.
So are you doing a whole record live? Which would be
we aren't currently on this tour. We've kind of, you know, we select the songs based on how to make the set flow, and you know, lots of these places, especially on the eastern states in Canada, like we didn't really hit on our last record. So we're trying to include, you know, as much of a variety as possible while still keeping like a coherent set and making sure that it flows nicely.
And personally, which tracks do you feel the closest to from the latest album?
I'd say probably "Is It Your God" is you know, the one that's the most personal to me as well, and I like the song generally.
So you and Mike are the two band members that have been doing it the longest.
Correct.
What does it take to become a member of the Ancient? Like, what qualities must you have?
It's mostly like before the music, it's being a good person and someone that is easy to get along with, and you know, you share the same chemistry with. Because aside from the music, it's, you know, if you're having to spend a month in a van with somebody, they have to be someone you
And the van breaks down.
Yeah, and the van breaks down. You have 2 hours of sleep. You know, it's got to be someone that, you know, feels like family to you, and you know, you can all just flow. So right now we have such a good unit of dudes, and there's no bad attitudes even when we're having shitty days, as you know, bad travel or all sorts of stuff. But everyone's still cracking jokes and having fun.
That's a good thing. How motivated are you to write a follow-up to Beyond the Reach of the Sun?
We're very motivated. You know, we had a long wait period to get our visas for touring the U.S., so we've kind of just crammed 2 tours back to back to try and cover as much ground as possible as we could on these. So once we get home in a few weeks, we're gonna hunker down over the winter and try and complete the new record by springtime.
What shape will the material take?
It's kind of, at the moment, it's all sort of in pieces. So it's just ideas, whatever ideas come. Once we kind of get in the room together with them, it's kind of whatever feels right. We don't necessarily have a set goal of what it's going to sound like until we start putting everything together and seeing what works. And it's at the time it kind of gets decided what sort of vibe the music is going to take.
Finally, at what point of your life did you realize that music would dominate your life so much?
Very young. Like my dad, when I was young growing up, it was just a lot of music around the house. Not so much TV, it was just always music, right? And I always loved it. So I knew kind of from then, even before I started playing music, that it was a huge part of my life. And then, around 12 years old when I picked up my first guitar, from then on I've been kind of obsessed with it. I knew that it would always be a part of my life in some way or another.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, man.